Welcome to the Jorge Helal Training Center in Rio de Janeiro as the FC Bayern World Squad play the second game of this year's Brazilian training camp. Today, this newly assembled team is up against the under-20 side of one of Brazil's biggest and most famous clubs, Flamengo. 22 teenagers from 17 countries across the world have come together in what is one of the largest scouting projects in the history of the club. Over 2,500 applied, almost 4 times as many as last year's edition, all of them dreaming of winning a professional contract. But this project also acts as a cultural exchange. Players coming from diverse backgrounds, very different countries, often without a common language, and coming together to build a team and a real team spirit under the careful eyes of the former Bayern captain and World Cup winner Klaus Argenthaler. He sadly can't be here. He fell ill just before the trip. So the two coaches out here, Christopher Loch and the man that is a Bayern legend, Roberto. The Brazilian was due out here anyway to mentor some of the players and has taken on the challenge of coming out to be a full-time member of the coaching staff. They're up against a tricky side. This is how the Bayern squad will line up. 3 newcomers in the starting 11. Number 10, Siam Yap of Thailand. 9, Tarek Scott from the USA. And 16-year-old Nigerian treasure Odunze, who wears 20. The other 8 were part of last year's intake. This will be their final outing with the world squad. 10 nations represented. Odunze and Daniel Francis, both from Nigeria. And there's a South American slant to the defence. Brazil's Diego Abra, alongside Vidal of Argentina and Peña of Mexico. As I mentioned, they are up against some real talent. Flamengo, the most popular club in Brazil, also the biggest in terms of financial value. They play the first team at the Maracanã, as do Fluminense. Finished second in Serie A last year. They've won it 7 times, including in 2019 and 2020. They had a trip, the Bayern World Squad, to the Maracanã on Saturday, attending Fluminense against Atletico Goianiense. They've had quite the trip, the last of their 9 days. There was a friendly last week against another side from Rio, Vasco da Gama, which they lost by 3-1, but it was just the second day of their trip. They'd literally only had 2 training sessions to prepare. Vasco had just completed an unbeaten league season as champions. They were tough opponents. They were an under-20 side as well. The majority of the players here between the ages of 17 and 19. Odunze is actually still 16, the man leading the line for the world squad tonight. They've been training and staying here at Flamengo's academy, where this game is being played. We're out west from the city centre in the Vargem Grande neighbourhood. Here come the officials. Referee Alex Stefano and his assistants Rafael Reis and Hilmar Henriquez. It's been quite the trip. They've had evenings on the beach, they've had beach soccer. They've all had to initiate themselves by singing their own songs and building a real team spirit. And next month, there will be, to conclude this adventure, a training camp in Munich, followed by a game against Bayern's under-19s at the Allianz Arena. And for those still dreaming, it could be some of the biggest days of their lives. There is a chance that some of the most promising players will be able to join Bayern's under-23s training camp, which starts later this week. Even if there is a step up from that, the best performers could also join the pros tour to the US next month, which happens just after they're already in Munich anyway for the under-19s game. Dreams can become a reality with this project. The sky really is the limit. We're just awaiting the completion of the pre-match formalities, the team photos. The World Squad wearing white for this one, and about to meet their opponents wearing those famous red and black shirts. It's another tough test. In many ways, this is expected to be a step up from the challenge that Vasco da Gama presented. But if you take the first 10-15 minutes of that game out of the equation, they were 2-0 down inside 6 minutes, then the squad did produce a pretty good performance. They all were given 45 minutes. Here, it is the strongest side out right from the start. So they're hopeful that this will be an even more impressive display. Once the pitch is cleared, then we will be getting off and underway here. The final act of this wonderful, ambitious, and really exciting project. There really isn't anything like this across football. These players all playing with one common goal in mind: to win a professional contract. They all have the same kind of dreams. If you speak to them, they're all dreaming of achieving Champions League football, scoring in the final, taking their countries to a World Cup and scoring on the biggest stage. This is where it can all start for them. Many are already doing well. Those who have been with the World Squad for a year already. Some have made excellent strides at home. Adam Mahamid, the Israeli midfielder wearing 6, still only 17, but already doing well at Maccabi Petah Tikva in his homeland. Tarek Scott is with FC Dallas, or their reserve side, North Texas SC, which is actually where the main recipient of the pro contract from last year, Jose Mulato, now plays. The Colombian was the standout player, won himself a professional contract, and is now out in America. Daniel Francis in the centre for the World Squad, on the right of the referee, as you're looking. Captaining the side. Captained it last year as well. So the stage is just about set then. This initiative in partnership with Volkswagen, who sponsor FC Bayern's youth section. A real springboard for the talent on show. What can they produce over the next 90 minutes? It's the World Squad who get us off and underway, then the conclusion of their Brazilian tour It has been 8 days of real camaraderie, team spirit, bonding. And now it comes down to this, the second game of their training camp. They've had intense training sessions. They've had time to bond and come together with football, the shared language. It really is remarkable that they can put together decent displays, even as in the game against Vasco da Gama, after just 2 training sessions and 1 day of preparation. Flamengo, with a different lineup. They've got a big group at this under-20 age level. They've given the ball away on the edge of the area, and it won't quite come down. That's Mohamed, wearing 6, the Israeli midfielder. Flamengo have pinched it away, but there should be no real danger. Back it goes via Sequan Yang, the South Korean. And here is Manuel Peña of Tigres, the Mexican. He and Vidal, his centre-half partner, born on the same day. That's Francis who's lost it, and an early strike brings an excellent save from Jakov Žar. Smart reactions from the World Squad's Croatian goalkeeper. Daniel Francis looking to bring it out from the back. Just caught out, but saved by his goalkeeper. Flamengo, only a couple of days ago at this level, were playing the first leg of the quarter-final in the Rio State Championship, losing to city rivals Botafogo by 2-1. It's a different 11 players out here. Shot was by Dudu, wearing 8. This is Juan Diego. And now Marquinhos, wearing 10. Richard is 6. Challenge comes in from Diego Abreu, who is the Bayern World Squad's sole Brazilian representative. Just in front of what makes up the Flamengo bench, under the gazebo on that far side. Header is by Richard. A little bit of space maybe for Muslim Umar, the Canadian. Plays with FC Edmonton. He's another who was already made his professional debut in November of last year. Yaga out to that far side. Back again. You can expect Flamengo to try and dominate the ball. They have the greater experience. They're older players, at least 1, if not in some cases 2 and a bit seasons ahead of all of those playing in white. Sequan Yang, forward from that left-back area. He's going to have his hands full with Marquinhos up against him. This is Juan Diego. Jean Carlos takes it on again. Space is all over on the other side at the moment. Richard had made the gap. Here he is again, looking to feed it through. Richard sitting in that midfield, popping the passes around, making Flamengo tick at the moment, always providing an outlet. This is Jean Carlos, sun in the eyes of the World Squad's goalkeeper, Jakov Žar. Header from Yaga doesn't go to feet. Now they can bring it forward, the World Squad, with CM Yap. Looking for the 1-2, but running into trouble, running into 2 players, but the teenager from Thailand had got it back before being penalised. Darlan will take the free kick for Flamengo. And has a rich heritage of producing world-class iconic players. The most famous, probably Zico, who had 2 spells at the club. 70s to the 80s, and then the late 80s as well when he came back. At the moment, David Luiz is with them. Everton Ribeiro, Felipe Luis, all Brazilian internationals. So too Gabriel Barbosa, who won them the 2019 Copa Libertadores. Now they're sweeping forward and the ball doesn't quite fall. Jean Carlos is lurking. Pass out from the back goes astray. Fielded by Juan Diego. This is Darlan. Gazebo is dangerously close to the touchline. Offside, just coming back from an offside position. Out comes the Croatian, Jakov Žaha. His ambition to play for Bayern and for his country. The 18-year-old Manuel Neuer, understandably, his current favourite player. Neat turn from Tarek Scott. Hasn't seen too much of the ball early on and just lets it run away. That's an excellent intervention. Peña in the right place at the right time. Helped back by Yang. It is Manuel Peña again, who says he's learnt so much from this experience already. Understandable when you have Zé Roberto on hand to pass on his extensive experience. Here's Darlan. They're finding some joy over on that left-hand side. Support again comes from Richard. That is Ja's view. And he's going to be relieved because there is a foul in there on Diego Abreu, the Brazilian right-back, which allows the FC Bayern World Squad to relieve the pressure a little bit. Pressure coming in from Flamengo's number 9, Fabrizio Jan. Manuel Peña wearing Aguilar on the back of his shirt, his other surname. Yang. He's done that well. Juan Diego anticipating. Umar coming back. It's a good foot in from the Canadian. Yeah, spreads it out to that far side. Francis all the way across. Peña will have to be alert. Daniel Francis again, the man they call Dada. Peña, Francis. He's going to do that. Drop back between those centre halves, help to link things up, build the play for the World Squad. They've got it up to Umar, who hasn't had a chance to show as yet what he can do down this left-hand side. I'm sure Tarek Scott on the right is feeling the same. He's drifted into the centre at the moment, but the ball has gone out wide. And the flag is up. It is an idyllic setting out here. Quite a long way from the centre of Rio de Janeiro. Away out in the west, as we get a look at Christopher Loch over on the touchline. The man, along with Zé Roberto, who is in charge in Augenthaler's absence here, part of the selection process too, along with Augenthaler, who led the coaching team deciding on the final candidates. 3 local Brazilians, a couple of them on the bench, along with the 19. Geronimo Vidal, the Argentine, sweeping up at the back. That's neat down the left-hand side again. That's where Flamengo have had quite a lot of their joy, apart from the early stages when they had their one real effort on goal, which came from the World Squad losing the ball. There hasn't been much so far for Treasure Odunze to enjoy it. The flag is up as it whizzes harmlessly across goal in any case. This is a look at the early loss of the ball from Daniel Francis. That did lead to Flamengo's only effort on goal so far. Francis is in there again, snapping around at the heels of Andre Junior. He's wasted possession. Now there is a chance for Tarek Scott to come forward. Looking to play it in for Dunze. That's a good save. Out comes the goalkeeper, Gustavo Jundi. It's still with the FC Bayern World Squad. Looking for space is Adam Mahamid. First call into action, first serious save, and he did it well. The youngster coming off his line quickly, spreading that right leg. As Odunze aimed for the bottom corner. First corner of the game goes the way of the FC Bayern World Squad. Vidal up from the back. It's in low, a little too low. Back by Yang. This is Yap. And the flag is up. Even if he had retrieved it in time, Tarek Scott was offside. Decent spell of pressure, though, from the FC Bayern World Squad. Out steps Dahlen. Left they go again. This time, no joy at all. Excellent intervention. That's another easy pass that's gone astray, this time from Cauã Diego. Picked up by Francis again. Abreu. Vidal. Now Peña. Yap beaten in the air. This time by Cauã Diego, who loves to bomb up and down this right-hand side. We've seen that already. Almost 15 minutes gone. Yang has done the same, trying to force him back here. This is Yap. And who says he idolizes Cristiano Ronaldo. Peña stepping out. Francis, who models himself on Joshua Kimmich, and is in the right place on the field to try and emulate that. This is Treasure Odunze, and it fades away. Looked for a moment like it might just catch out the goalkeeper. Is there space here for Scott? There might well be, looking to test out the pace of Darlan. Support comes from Abreu, and Yap is also in there. Scott has got away. Now he's got 2 to aim for in the box. And the cover was good. This time the foul is on Vinicius. And that stops the Flamengo breakaway. Good pressing from the World Squad, and it's paid off because they've won it back. Odunze leaves it here for Sekwon Yang. Now he plays it out to Uma, who's becoming more and more involved as the game goes on. He can't work his way around to Kawan Diego. Marquinhos wearing 10. Progress halted momentarily. They're cancelling each other out in the final third at the moment. This is Jean Carlos. All bar 2 of this Flamengo side are professionals as it stands. Only Kawan Diego and Marquinhos, players wearing 2 and 10, still with amateur status. Here is one of them, Kawan Diego. Decent cross, it's Peña in the way. Turn is by Richard. Vinicius on the left-hand side. Still going, and down he goes. Well, it's just on the edge by the look of it. Difficult to see from this position exactly where the edge of the penalty area begins, but it does look like that shove is just outside. Fortunately for the FC Bayern World Squad, Vinicius still down there. It is a warm day. That might just help him. Spray on the leg as well. A couple of players out for the home side warming up. Mandovani among them, along with João Vitor. Just approaching the 20-minute mark then. First set piece of any real status. We've had one corner down the other end for the FC Bayern World Squad. First serious free kick here for them to look at defending. Referee Alex Stefano making sure everybody's aware. In it comes, and it's a simple catch. No real pace on the header from Andre Junior. Well, they're playing with a definite style, a definite game plan. The FC Bayern World Squad, they've come together. And this, remember, is only day 9. Diverse group of individuals from very different backgrounds, not sharing, in the majority of cases, a common language either. Sekwon Yang. Scott is standing off. No room to operate down there. It is going to be a corner, though. Over goes Adam Mahamid. Another in that central midfield area in this 4-2-3-1 formation, who is modelling himself on Joshua Kimmich, although his all-time favourite player of Bayern is Franck Ribéry. Left-footed delivery from the Israeli, again, not quite high enough, doesn't beat the first man, but they will get another go. Nobody in and around the goalkeeper. Mahmoud with a deeper one. Umar waiting. Claimed well by Gustavo Jundi. Peña. Drifted over to the far side. Tarek Scott. Here is Siam Yap. Says his ambition is to become the best player in Thailand and play in a World Cup. Oh, that's given away by Peña. It is Fabricio Jan. Andre Junior has to go back. Darlan, one of the two centre-halves. Out on the left is Richard. They've got it back, but unfairly, Abra is the man down on the turf at the moment. The World Squad's Brazilian right-back. Just about midway through this first half, even so far. Flamengo's under-20s with greater experience, with the, of course, more long-standing relationship between the players. But you wouldn't know that at the moment from watching the first 22.5 minutes. Deftly guided from Darlan. Richard on the left-hand side. Support infield from Andre Junior. Up against his opposite number, Adam Mahmoud. Now Scott. He's worked that one well. Odunze's not really had the ball at his feet too many times. Scott goes down. That's a foul by Iago. One for Francis to take quickly. Here is Zhang. Just enough on that, but the goalkeeper's going to have to be sharp, and it is Shah. Peña under pressure again. Safety first, finds Zhang. Foul is on Umar. Even in that kind of situation, when the instinct might have been just to thrash it forward and move the ball away from danger, they looked to play their way out of trouble, and they did so. Giancarlos winning it back. Mahmoud sees it out of play. Throw in to Flamengo. Taken by Caoan Diego. Iago and Darlan, 3 and 4, the two centre-halves. Richard in from deep. Oh, they've gained a little bit of space here. And Giancarlos fires it straight at the goalkeeper. Either side, and that was potentially the opening goal. Darlan's long clearance. Peña fielding it just for a moment. There were red and black shirts in dangerous positions for Flamengo, but this is Mahmoud turning away from danger. Almost sneaking through the gap. Best chance of the game, 25 minutes in, and it went to the home side. Here is the man who had that shot, Giancarlos. Andre Junior. Here he is again. Chipped through, and for Giancarlos, and the goalkeeper's out well. Good anticipation from Jaya. Stood firm to repel that really powerful shot. The header initially from Fabrizio Jan was a decent opportunity here. Didn't get it on target, couldn't get above it, and then this one, arrowing forward. Ball in the end just too high for Flamengo's number 9. Could only flick it rather than direct it down. That really was a let-off. Francis, they're not pressing him too much when he does have the ball. Chances at a premium so far. One early one for Treasure Odunze. Couple, one early and one just a moment ago for Flamengo. Vinicius. Scott, who's too forceful. He shoulder charge, not impressing the referee. Another whose dream is to play in the UEFA Champions League. He says it'll be for Manchester United if he has his way. Simple enough decision for the referee, though, and it's a free kick in just about the same position that they had one 5 minutes ago. Two-man wall. Half an hour mark just around the corner. Again, it's to the far post. Again, not quite the delivery they were hoping for. Away from Sequan Jiang. One number 2 coming up against the other. The FC Bayern man winning out. No matter what happens here, it is an experience none of these young players will ever forget. It is potentially life-changing, not just a formative experience. Mind the chance to visit the Maracanã, see a professional game there, the beach soccer games. They played one against Fluminense's beach soccer side. Chance, the tantalizing chance of what is potentially to come for some of these players. Chance not just for a professional contract, but also in the very near future, over the course of the summer, to be part of that team that plays at the Allianz Arena against Bayern's own under-19 side. And then potentially a carrot of the under-23s as well for FC Bayern. For the cream of these players here, those who do impress and have impressed in every aspect over the course of this 9-day camp. Here's Giancarlos. Vinicius. It's a neat little give and go. And more often than not, had players to plug those gaps, though, the World Squad, when Flamengo have managed to play their way through. Andre Junior has a good eye for a pass. Guided in from that right-hand side again. It's just a fraction too high. And Giancarlos can't make the most of it. He's still in there, but it's been put away from danger. Treasure Odunze lays it off. Now, yeah. Neat turn, taken out. Half an hour gone. FC Bayern World Squad have the free kick. And they still have parity. Probably fancy a little bit more offensive action if they can gain a foothold, keep the ball inside the Flamengo half a little more. Yang. They haven't gone long too many times. I can only remember once before. Umar picks up the second ball. But both Umar and Odunze do have the height to compete with that centre-half pairing of Iago and Dalan. Kawan Diego leaves it to Marquinhos. He had a bright start to the game. He's been kept in check over the last 15 minutes or so. Dalan for Vinicius. It's Richard that makes the darting run this time. And it's Vidal that comes across to track him. Vidal is the defender. So Fabrizio Jan, number 9, going to cause trouble again. Marquinhos has snaffled it away in the box. That's good defending from Seo Kwan Yang. Corner for Flamengo. They're taking it short, and they had 3 players over there. Just for a moment, Flamengo had the advantage. Umar dives in to defend. Goalkeeper's worried shouts were eventually heeded, and they didn't suffer because of it. Umar diving in and getting a touch on the ball, and then Flamengo penalised because Dudu chose to grab a hold of the ball.
Guys, open! Open!
That has just drifted out. Yeah, putting pressure up. Francis has retrieved it. It's an excellent ball, incisive. Saw where the run was, saw where the opportunity was. Quick ball to Odunze, didn't quite come off. Vinicius wants to take it, and he'll get the chance to take it. Foul on Dudu. Kawan Diego, now Marquinhos. I'm not letting him get a shot in. Clearance is only as far as Kawan Diego. Marquinhos making trouble. Francis is in there. So too is Zhang. He might have to start coming a little deeper. Treasure Odunze to pick up the ball. He's not seeing too much of it at the moment. Luis Felipe is the under-20s trainer for Flamengo. Over there with his coaching team. Free kick is from Bernier. Probably hear a drone in the background as well. Taking some nice aerial shots here. Let's flick forward to Andre Junior. Vidal is across though. He's read the game really well so far, the 19-year-old. He says his all-time favourite player is Philippe Lahm. Jager and Darlan, they've largely left them alone when they've had the ball in their own half, not pressing high. Now they do look to move quickly, though, when they do win the ball back. That transition part of the game is where they can be dangerous if they get those passes right to tag Scott. Muslim Umar down this left-hand side, Treasure Odunze down the middle. It's a little slip on the far post from Abreu. Half-hearted appeals that it might have struck his arm. And in comes Vidal, alert to the danger again. One has ended in a foul, I think. Richard, the man down. Operating well down that left-hand side. Darlan, back to Jager. Hugging that touchline is Vinicius. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Again, the flick header not quite in there. Juan Diego into the arms of the goalkeeper. He's had a good half, Jakov Zaha. Odunze competes, Francis wins it. It'll come back to Daniel Francis, but here is Jean Carlos again. There's a decent left foot on him. That one is not aimed correctly. Abreu can tidy up. We've got about 7 minutes to go until half-time. Abreu, free kick to the World Squad. Off goes Jean Carlos. Odunze has dropped deep to try and help out. Abreu and Vidal over there, trying to cover. Vidal has lost out, though, to Dudu. Fancy footwork from Flamengo's number 8, but it doesn't get him too far. Thrown down by the corner flag as we tick into the final 5 minutes of this first period. Dudu sliding in, again, held up by Fabricio Jan. Referee's going to stop it. Well, there we go. It looks like half-time. It looks like they've called it early. So it's goalless at the break between Flamengo's under-20s and the FC Bayern World Squad. premium, you would say, the chances. Each chance, Flamengo had the better of them. Jean Carlos with that shot. Saved well by the World Squad goalkeeper, Jakob Jaya. But there were a couple of moments at the other end where Treasure Odunze and Muslim Umar might have caused some trouble. They'll hope to do more of that in the second half and be a little more effective inside that final third. At the break, though, it is Flamengo 0, the FC Bayern World Squad 0. Welcome back. Half-time fast coming to an end. It will be Flamengo to get us off and underway. There is a change for the FC Bayern World Squad at the break. Flamengo haven't actually started. As you can probably tell, they're just passing the ball around to keep themselves warmed up. Treasure Odunze, who was wearing 20, who was leading the line, has gone off. And coming on is Hiromu Chiba, 17-year-old Japanese forward, who scored the only goal in their first game of this tour against Vasco da Gama's under-20s. It's also necessitated a little bit of a change in terms of how that front three are going to operate. Tariq Scott is going to go up front. Siam Yap, the number 10, across to the flank to replace him. And Hiromu should sit just in behind in that slot where Tariq Scott, or where Siam Yap was actually playing. I think we're just waiting for the end of the interview with Roberto. For Bundesliga and Cup doubles with Bayern in the space of 6 years, from 2003 to 2008. Over those 2 spells he had at the club, that first 4-year spell, and then back on loan from Club Nacional between 2007 and 2009. He did play for Flamengo as well in the first half of 1998. Before he came across to Europe, to Bayer Leverkusen. What a team that was. Zé Roberto, Romario, Palinha and Juan as well. All classy Brazilian internationals. You are seeing it, but unfortunately we don't have any audio from the interview. And while you're watching it, we're back off and underway. Only just, though, you haven't missed anything. So goalless, as you can see, and chances at a premium in that first 45 minutes. Flamengo had the better of them. Not able to take them. You can see already a couple of changes. Here's one of them. It is Rafael, wearing 16. Who was on for Flamengo down this left-hand side. It looked like Cesar Benavides as well, 14 with the header. Here's Vinicius, who had a lively first period down that left-hand side. Dudu. Bright start this for Flamengo, but that will need some retrieving. We weren't notified about exactly which changes were happening and for who with Flamengo, so it's a case of just picking those up. Here is one of them, though. As I mentioned, Cesar Benavides has come on at the back. And a chance too for that man, Rafael. Vinicius, impressive start this down the left-hand side. The finish wasn't the best from Vinicius, and it's a smart save from Jakov Jaza. Opened up nicely, as you can see here from the replay. But in the end, the shot is right at the goalkeeper. Didn't have the power or the direction. Here's a man who did have a good first half as well and gave trouble to this FC Bayern World Squad defence. Their number 2, Juan Diego. Zhang to put it in. He'll tidy up again the left back as well. This is Peña. He and Vidal formed a good partnership in that first half. The Mexican and the Argentine. Here's another man who had a solid game out of Mohamed. Sequan Zhang. Flamengo too would probably feel that they could spend more time on the ball inside the FC Bayern half. Certainly in the final third, when they put the ball in a little deeper and used the aerial prowess of Fabrizio Jan, their number 9, it worked a little better for them than when they tried to build up and play through the middle. Here is Rafael. Vinicius. Dudu. Rafael has continued his run. That's an important intervention. Nicely timed too. Mohamed has dropped to bring it out. He's never really wasted a pass. Siamia wanted the free kick. He's moved out to this right-hand side where Tarek Scott was operating. Scott wearing 9 now. A little bit more orthodox down the middle. That was a longer ball. Looking for Fabrizio Jan. He's been the busier of the goalkeepers. Shaya. So far, he's acquitted himself well. That's Scott with a knockdown. They'd like to probably try and do a little bit more of that. They only went long a couple of times in the first half just to mix things up, but it was a decent route when it happened. It did lead to them keeping hold of the ball, winning the second ball, being able to build from a little higher up the field. Francis still part of that build-up play at the back. Umar twisting and turning away. Rafael, Vinicius. It's increasingly looking like if they do well, Flamengo, it will come down this left-hand side. It'll come from Vinicius. There's another of the replacements here, 13, the man on the ball. Mandovani, who we saw warming up along with 23 early in that first half. Rodrigo. So it's 3 changes across the back. Marquinhos is still on. He's helped it out to that right-hand side. This is Mandovani. Over goes Rodrigo. Flamengo corner. They've started the better in this second period. Really bright down the left-hand side. Vinicius in particular seeing plenty of the ball. Now it's a promising set piece. Rodrigo plays it short and it's helped over. Jayo didn't want to take any chances. It might have just been arrowing into that top corner. Safer to flick it over, deal with a corner. Mandovani arriving on the far post. Different kind of delivery. A little easy for the goalkeeper this time with Mandovani again, proving the biggest target man. Francis for Scott. That's a neat little layoff. Denied the chance to find a teammate by the foul. It's first real involvement for the substitute, Hiromu Shiba from Osaka. Plays with Kokoku. Says his idol is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ramon Peña, the Mexican, over the ball. Scooped up towards Scott.
Não, a gente vai ter que falar com o velhinho, né, Salhão? A gente não falou antes, mas ele fala.
Não, deixa quieto, deixa pra depois.
Foi tudo bem? Não, foi tudo bem, mais pouco.
Scott's with a layoff. Umar is up there challenging. Duda has put it away. Zhang without too many options down that side. Flamengo have defended well for the most part. Rafael and Vinicius not quite teeing up this time, but Armida's just lost out. Marquinhos. And it's already been a bright start by that man wearing 23. Rodrigo, all the way across goal. Vidal, just getting there ahead of his goalkeeper. Didn't quite know who was coming in behind him. Safety first. Couldn't be sure that Jaya would get there. And it wouldn't roll all the way across to that number 9, Fabricio Jan. In comes the corner, hefted away by Daniel Francis. Some tidying up to do for Mandavani. Dudu, as busy as Vinicius has been so far. See the World Squad replacements going through their paces over there. Plenty of goals to practice in as well, dotted around this training area. It's an excellent facility you'd expect from one of the top clubs in Brazil. It's the home replacements doing their own. They've changed referees as well. The up goes down. A little bit of pressure then for this home back line. Haven't had too many free kick opportunities, not too many chances to test out the goalkeeper, Gustavo Jundi. And it comes from Mari. It is Francis who is down. Hopefully this is nothing serious. Is he able to get back up on his feet? He's going to get a cold compress on there, I think. Meanwhile, as you can see, it's a different goalkeeper. And we're going to get another change. Marcelo Gula, after swapping shin pads, is coming on. João Vitor is the replacement goalkeeper, who we hadn't really seen up to that point. First time he's been called into action. Chance for a few of the other academy players to take in the game. Pedro Inácio, you can see wearing 25, has also just come on during that stoppage. So too, they're mounting up as Daniel Campos, wearing 42. And, for good measure, Paulo Roberto, wearing 26. Still just that one change for the FC Bayern World Squad, as Tarek Scott goes through, and a first real chance for him ends with the ball being poked wide. Under pressure from Ventura. He's another that has recently joined proceedings. So after a raft of half-time changes, even more just before the hour for Flamengo, as they look to use the depth of their bench early on in this second period. Cesar Benavides. Abra for the World Squad. That's one for their substitute, Chibada Chase. We have an hour, but we don't yet have a goal. Flamengo looked like they might be threatening one early in that first 5 minutes or so of this second period. It's just gone down a little bit. Chibala going to slide it through. Mohamed had taken up a good position. This is Daniel Francis. That's a clever ball too. Left by the right back, who'll get it again now from Yap. Abra steers it to the near post. So vain chase for Marcelo Gula. It's actually one of the older players in the squad, born in December of 2005. Was out as far as the left back, who'd push right up. Yang left a little bit of space. And space is what he's enjoyed plenty of, Rodrigo. And when he's had it, he has been able to cause trouble down that right-hand side. Back to another of the Flamengo replacements, Vitor Müller. Here is Pedro Inácio with the give and go. Stabbed through again. It's Francis, and then the foul by Daniel Campos. They can find a way to threaten João Vitor's goal. build on that little bit of momentum they had just a couple of moments ago, the World Squad, then they might be able to celebrate just a second goal of this tour. Majority of the goals came early in that first game. They were 2-0 down after 6 minutes. They got one back on 16. Vasco da Gama didn't score their third until the 80th minute of the game. Yang. Shiba. Nice little bit of space. Plenty of space ahead of him too. Was there a push in the back there? It certainly looked that way. And you can understand the frustration of Umar in suggesting that that was the case. It is Pedro Inacio. They haven't kept it as well as you might expect. You usually identify that kind of easiness, comfort in possession with Brazilian sides, but the FC Bayern World Squad have not made it easy for them when they've had the ball. They've moved it around nicely themselves here, just too far from Abreu this time. Mahmoud making some good ground. He's been solid and very, very steady and dependable, no matter where he's played. There he is again, getting his head on the ball. As it bounced up under the arm, it bounced off the different part of his body, so it isn't a handball. Throw is from Abreu. This is Mahmoud. Looking to protect the ball. Yup. Glance by Paulo Roberto. They haven't been able to keep a hold of it, though. And Francis has fancied a little bit of an attacking thrust at that little bit of space he found. Pass wasn't quite there. All of these players born in 2004, 2005. That was the only stipulation. It really could and did open up to a real wide selection of players from every walk of life, as long as they were born in one of those 2 years. That's another good bit of work from Umar. Equally impressive defending. Flamengo have not let much past them so far in this second half. Out it goes to Marcelo Goulart. Good defending. Yap was right at the other end of the field, not a few moments before, sprinting back. Already midway through this second half. Still, we await the first goal. One by Cesar Benavides. They've replaced a couple of centre-halves with a couple of really tall ones. Iago and Darlan comfortable on the ball in that first half. Two we have out there now, much bigger, much more physical. So it's Cesar Benavides. Across to his new partner he goes. Ventura. This is Rodrigo, faced by Yang. It's Umar again who tracks back. The white players have done that well. Umar on one side. Yap, you saw him doing it a moment ago on the other. That's Francis who gets there first and gets clattered in the back as well. He's already been down once and spent time on the turf. Now he's having to get himself back up again. It's one well in the air again. He has done that, Tarek Scott, much more effectively in this second half since being moved into that more traditional number 9 role to go with his shirt number. Shiba out to that far side. Yang just loses possession. We're getting a change there. Yap, wearing 10, has just gone off. And it's number 7, you can see in the front of the picture. Mateusz Sobotka from Poland, the 17-year-old winger who comes on. Prodded forward by Vitor Müller. Umar. Now Scott again, busy as ever in this second period. Last 20 minutes just around the corner. Can they use the fresh legs of the Polish winger on this right-hand side to be able to cause some trouble for this resilient Flamengo defence? Yang has prodded it out to Umar. If he can keep it in, which he does. 20 minutes to go. Muslim Umar into Tarek Scott. Thought about the shot early on, ran into trouble. It's a whole wall of red and black shirts, but now he does get the free kick. And it's right on the edge of the area, just inside that D. That's one of the best moves for them, one of the best periods of spells of possession and pressure in this second period. Probably the best looking free kick position that we've had in the game. And Shiba fancies it. Wall building going on for João Vitor. Putting 5 of his players in it. He'll be guarding this camera side of the goal, by the looks of it. You'd imagine that will be where Shiba is going to aim. So, it's free kick for FC Bayern World Squad. Hiromu Shiba off the bar. Scott with the turn, straight at the goalkeeper, and it's cleared off the line. Best moment of the game for the FC Bayern World Squad. It's an excellent piece of skill to get that free kick up and down. It was pretty close. Francis. Sobotka ran into trouble. Francis got his heels clipped again by Daniel Campos. Well, I hope we get another look at that. It was an excellent free kick. Very, very close to coming down off the underside of the bar and going in. And then the turn and shot from Tarek Scott. It's not bad either. It's good positioning at his near post from João Vitor. It's as close as they've come. themselves another set piece. Out on this left-hand side. It's again the Japanese who's going to take it. That's the view the goalkeeper had. He's got as much of his body onto the ball as he could to block it away. Very close to bagging themselves the lead. Hiromu Chiba again. Puts in a good delivery. It's right on top of the goalkeeper, and Scott can't produce the finish needed. Just in front of João Vitor, who didn't come convincingly at all. It's an excellent 5 minutes this for the FC Bayern World Squad. This is the keeper's view, and it's not a pretty one. Thought about coming, decided not to. It's just a glancing header rather than the full contact he was looking for. Hesitant, and it wasn't punished from João Vitor. They've won it back. Starting to believe that they can get this goal. It is a Bayern throw. Well, that's the closest any side has come in the second half. There was an excellent early spell of pressure and good territory from Flamengo. The best they managed from that, though, really was a fairly simple routine save from a Vinicius shot. Now they have space for Sobotka on this right-hand side. If the ball came across early, couldn't quite find the space to put it in. We are back. Apologies if there were any technical issues from your stream. If not, then you will realize you have miss too much. So just 12 minutes to go. FC Bayern close. Very close with that free kick that struck the crossbar. And with another change too. Victor Gomez, another of their Brazilians, has come on, along with Sobotka, their 7. Will be relishing a chance to use his relatively fresh legs to run down this right-hand side. Hasn't had that opportunity as yet. Is there to be a winning goal late on here? And there's a very high and hanging cross, on which they should be able to deal with. It's been put back into a dangerous area. Here's Sobotka. Francis. Victor Gomez hasn't got himself much of a chance to make a difference. He's wearing Vitinho on the back of his shirt, and here come Flamengo. The pass is not the right one, fortunately for the world squad. Well, we might be towards the end. We only played 40 minutes in the first half. So I would say just under 5 minutes to go. Plus potential stoppage time. That is Chiba, who has done pretty well since he came on. He's been given the second half to show what he can do. One of those who must be in with a chance of progressing further. By all accounts, he's had a very good tour. Mohamed has been solid again. He would be up there as one of the more impressive players too. We're going to get one last change by the looks of it. Over on that far side, Natakit Butsing, another Thai player, is replacing Umar. As Sobotka gets knocked off the ball. Is there a chance for Flamengo here with Paulo Roberto? Matias Sobotka goes down, free kick, and maybe, probably, 2.5 minutes or so to go. Vidal is waiting. More to see whether his players are going to push up than to waste any kind of time. It's a first touch from the man who's just come on. To keep Putzing. Plays in the Spanish fourth tier. Actually, the 19-year-old with Union Adalve. Vitinha. Not going to get the free kick he was hoping for. Hello, Roberto. Leave it for Rodrigo. Throw did reach its intended target, so Bot can make sure it doesn't come through any further, and he's been followed through on by Pedro Inacio. There's a bruising conclusion for the Polish winger. It's going to be Vidal again to deliver what might well be the last free kick of this contest. Can he make it come to anything? That's something the referee's not happy with. Oh, he's blown full time. A little early, but that is the full-time whistle. Wasn't even allowed to take the free kick. He was right on the money in terms of being officious with the final whistle and making sure it was just about exactly 85 minutes. So there you go. Goalless in the end. The conclusion to the FC Bayern World Squad's Brazilian training camp. It is a draw with Flamengo, the under-20 side, one of the best in the country. Never mind the state championship, which they're doing well in. They came the closest in the second half. Hiromu Chiba's free kick off the crossbar, and Tarek Scott following up couldn't quite turn it home. Unfortunately for the number 7, Matthias Sobotka, his game has finished with a little bit of discomfort after the challenge he received just in that final minute, but a successful conclusion to this Brazilian training camp. They will all now come back via Munich and then reconvene in Munich in about a month's time, when they look forward to playing the Bayern under-19 side in the Allianz Arena. But for now, it's the end of their Brazilian adventure, and it's ended with a goalless draw here at Flamengo's training ground. Flamengo 0, the FC Bayern World Squad 0.